Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Have the Race Gone for the IGTL 3 hours of Autopolis race weekend. And we're live here tonight for the qualifying session. Afterwards we're gonna be getting our mouths dirty, I was about to say, with the solo race 40 laps in the Group 3 cars. I am here with the smooth Trail 666 himself.
Yeah, what's up everyone? This is the start of an exciting weekend here at Have the Race Gone, and indeed in the world of Gran Turismo. As always, as they always are, I want to say, these IGTL weekends, it's a special feeling going into one of these. And yeah, I've got to say, I'm really liking the format for this one. So it's the older GT500 cars, and we're racing at a brand new track to Gran Turismo Sport, an old acquaintance from older Gran Turismo games.
No, actually, I think it's a new to the series.
Is it completely new?
It's completely new to the series. Actually, it's
damn it.
And it's true to form race that we're about to witness, at least for the stint race and the qualifying here, with the, as you mentioned, the 2008 GT500 cars running a custom BOP to just make sure that they are properly balanced out, and then on this lovely Japanese racetrack that is a venue for a real Super GT
Absolutely,
race.
it is, and it's a very cool mixture to see this in a video game. I actually think it is the first time it's been done. Then
I'm quite sure.
Autopolis hasn't really been seen that much in racing games, but I've seen it on rare occasions on tracks that you don't really get to see that much, but really deserves more exposure.
Yeah, indeed.
So here you go, exposure for Autopolis.
Exposure indeed for Autopolis. And what a grid we've got for you this weekend, this race. Just going through the teams, we've got AS Monaco Esports, we've got TRL, Team Redline with us, we've got Lazarus, we've got TX3, we've got Flat Out Threat, the FT Boys, we've got Project One Motorsports, we've got the Iris Esports team, we've got, well, it's an impressive lineup, and I'm really looking forward to this. You mentioned before that it's always a special feeling going into these IGTL weekends, and I really agree in that one. I've been feeling it all day, the hum in the stomach, and it's special, it's nice, and it's of course lovely to have all of you who's joined us already along. Evening to Volex Esports, evening to Olegna as well, who won't be racing.
Olegna, who won't be racing for the first time. He's not multitasking in our chat.
That's true.
That's pretty groundbreaking, to be honest. I've always been very impressed with Olegna managing to pretty much make comments in the chat while on track. And
yeah, that's impressive
almost,
stuff.
It's almost like he's sitting there with the phone in the hand in the car. But yeah, welcome to Alex as well. Nice to see you, mate. Yeah. Welcome to Netso as well, Netso72. Well, yeah, nice to see you guys. Netso giving his immediate support to Shosse, certainly also one of the guys that we're rooting for a little bit. Very strong guy. Was it the first stint race or the first promotional race?
No, it was the second promotional race.
The second one, the Cayman.
Oh yeah, has an off here. Better have him in practice.
Yeah, better to have it in the practice. Just testing the limits at the track there.
Also, of course, a warm welcome to Ethan, and just joining us is also Gentleman Racing. So nice to see you all. It's a pleasure to have you along, and we are just about 5 minutes from the start of the qualifying session. The format is so that it's 20 minutes, and of course 20 minutes plus the lap that they're on. So if they start a lap after 19 minutes and 58 seconds, it'll be a counting lap, as we know from qualifying.
Most qualifying
sessions, basically. Tires, racing hards only. Fuel for the qualifying session is off. So they don't have to go around and
both good calls on behalf of the organizers there, because Super GT doesn't run different tires. And indeed. So hopping on board with Shamar of the AS Monaco Esports team, of course, one of the organizers of the series, and I think we're not the only ones who are, well, not completely familiar with the layout. I mean, I did some driving around here in GT Sport earlier today to get a feel for the track, and I guess I did around 12-15 laps or so, and I still don't really feel like I truly know it. And watching Shomar, it seems like he's been putting in that amount of practice necessary, hammering around. But it's a very dynamic track, and I think it lends itself to long battles side by side for long periods of time. It doesn't really have that many, like, you could imagine this part, for example, to be one where if you get side by side, you aren't just necessarily going to overtake, then it's back, then it's forth, then it's back. Absolutely. The corners are coming in quick succession here, and that means that everyone will have the inside on different at different points. So certainly there's a big chance for that, and indeed these cars, if you have the skills, they really are pretty well matched. And they have tons of downforce, even in some of these corners. So for sure, yeah, I think we're going to see some extended battles. Nico there managing to find the edges of the track as well.
And Nico R, he will be qualifying for the Flat Out Thread boys in their Nissan GTR. Let's just go through them. We got Thunder 98. And he'll be qualifying for the SimRacing League team, joining up with Best Racer, who certainly put in some strong performances, really an all-star of this series. So interesting to see that they've chosen Thunder 98 for the qualifying session here. That must mean that he's also very much on pace. So it'll be a team that I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely looking very much forward to see how he's doing. A set of big shoes to fill here with being paired up with the Best Racer on an all-Italian team.
Yeah, indeed. So for the virtual drivers by TX3, which is the actual name they're going under, we have TX3 Adam teaming up with the last stint race winner Zuzu.
Zuzu indeed.
Which I will still say it's pronounced Suzu. I don't know, Zuzu. But there was a little bit of a debacle in chat about that last time around.
Could go for Tsuzuki, the Tsuzuki way. Zuzu.
And evening to everyone who's just joined us here. We are getting close to a qualifying session and we're just going through the teams. For Lazarus Esports is M. Thomas teaming up with McLaren. Very, very strong team. I'm expecting big things of those. McLaren, of course, organizing the Best of British series. And M. Thomas, apart from being an FIA finalist, top contender in that series, so I'm really counting on those boys to be just around the top of things. Now, of course, when mentioning teams, I think one team has to get a certain mention as well, and that's Team Redline, because it's just a team that seems to have that extra bit of flair.
This is. I think it's pretty safe to call Team Redline as an organization the biggest sim racing organization there is. Yeah, I mean, Lando Norris and Max Verstappen races under their name when they do iRacing stuff, so it's a pretty serious organization. And excuse me, they prove it with who they sign for the Gran Turismo leagues as well.
Indeed.
In the car for qualification here, we see Org, who's been dominating in pretty much everything he enters. What an amazing driver he is. Recently winning both FIA seasons.
Yeah, and what a performance he put in for the Catalonia race.
Yeah.
He came in his car, he was a lap down, and he went to finish in the top 5. That was incredible to watch.
Yeah.
And he's teaming up with Manu Rodri, so 2 finalists, 2 really big names from the TRL team. They will, of course, be a team to watch. Now, TX3 has spread a little out because they're not only on the TX3 team, they actually also have drivers abroad. And this is the Team Italy car, and it's going to be qualified by TX3 Gianluca, which is, of course, for Gianluca something that I don't remember. But was it Gianluca? It sounds really nice as well. It's
it has a bit of swagger to it.
I really like it.
He's teamed up with a guy you'll be familiar with from previous IGTL streams, Williams Racing. Who,
it's Williams, but it's
Koke.
No, it's not Koke. It's Giorgio. It's Giorgio Mangano. It's the Giorgio himself.
The Giorgio.
So really, also a very strong team. I mean, the depth of field here is just staggering. It's and it's unparalleled. I have to say, it is unparalleled. You won't find this.
Definitely is the Champions League of GT Sport races.
Yeah.
And we're not just saying that because we're broadcasting, because it was the strongest grid I think that's ever been done in the first race, and it's only gotten stronger since. So indeed. Very, very impressive stuff. And by now, the list of people trying to enter this race is pretty massive as well.
Yeah. So qualifying is getting underway now, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be joining the cars right away because we expect everybody to be getting on track quickly. We'll just be getting our visuals on point and be sure to getting the lap times as well. Of course, first lap being the out lap. Evening to Maddie Tigerton, evening to Jose T, evening to Best Racer and Renee. and evening to Maverick and Quentin as well. Nice to see you all joining in for the qualifying session here as things are getting underway. First on track and first to get the lap rolling, unless they decide to wait, which would be strange.
It certainly doesn't look like they're waiting. They've been tail happy through every corner exit there's been. I think Jan Lauder is very pleased with his ability to have very clean space in front of him here for the first lap. He certainly is looking to be trying to maintain that position.
We got a good question from Quentin, who asked about because there's a new update for the PS4 and it has the remote play. Now you can use. So he's like, why don't you just? That's brilliant. The CJ way.
So it's going to be interesting to see who is indeed using the new rare 6-axis iOS update. And indeed how they'll get along.
Of course, a team that we have yet to mention upon, and how could that be? It's the king of drama himself.
Yeah.
It's Titchny, our good friend.
The big entertainer. As he pulls up.
Straight away. And he's teamed up with GT Alex for the flawless point team.
And once again, indeed, on point with the team name and team branding.
It's pretty
The blue and white there on the side brings up some indications of Harrods as well. I think it's so well done.
Very much so.
Titchny forever the entertainer. Always nice to see.
So first qualifying laps coming in now, and we will be watching with interest as to who will post the quickest times. Let's go on board with Titchny for this. Oh, he has a little bit of a drift. Surely that's not gonna aid his lap times around here. Next corner up, left-hand sweeper, has to hold back a little bit because it tightens towards the end. Then this kink, which is obviously just flat out. And then coming up towards this left-hand open hairpin, I'd say, from my rallying times as a dude. And there's over this slight crest that really wants to take away the grip as you try to come onto the throttle. It's a difficult one.
Coming into the massive dip here.
Yeah, it's a massive dip.
Just a straight dip into a sharp right-hander. Titchny seems to have gotten rid of the drifter in the car. So now there's only a road racer behind the wheel.
It seems very planned indeed.
That is some strong coffee I'm drinking.
Yeah, it's working well.
It's too early to say, but my predictions would be yes. So another team we haven't mentioned, I think we should get around because they're also third on track here.
Oh yeah.
Our good friends at the IGTL team. Bellin is in the car for qualifying. You'll be familiar with him from the other IGTL races. He's put in some very strong performances, seeming to be a pretty reliable guy as a teammate.
Yeah.
The other guy in that car is indeed the people's champion. We did it.
We did it. We
did it. We did it. Stevia 712 is in the other seat of this beautiful Honda NSX.
Or
representing
just ERT Stevie as it is.
ERT Stevie would be on the new one, yeah, of course. His old account had numbers in them for no reason. He seems to have gotten rid of those. That's good. It's gonna shave some excess weight.
Yeah, it's gonna shave that. That's gonna shave 7-1.
Perhaps that's the reason for his recent increase in form. He's in form from alien to whatever's above alien.
Yeah. Evening to the missile, lightning himself. Nice to see you. And but indeed, yeah, it's just getting back to ERT Stevie. We've been racing quite a bit with Stevie and in different series
and
over.
Since the pretty early days of GC Sport, even we've been racing with him, and we've always been very impressed by his level, and talked about how good he would be in relation to the best guys. And then just as the opportunity arises, he signs with the IGTL team. He gets closer to that level. He's gonna be doing FIA races soon.
Yeah.
Just as that happens, he seems to just get even better. And now finally he has the chance to prove himself against the best. So that's going to be an interesting story for tomorrow. As he obviously won't be qualifying, that job is going to be put on the shoulders of Bellin.
I'm seeing a lot of love for Autopolis in chat, and I have to agree. I think it's a great addition, and it's surely one that not a lot of people are seeing coming. As we see Adam coming across the line, he's 8/10 down on his personal best, but he's very, very close to TX3 teammate at least, but they're teammates. But Team Italy leading qualifying at the moment, but by 40 thousandths of a second. So it's close, as we know, the IGTL, and just about a tenth of the leader is off in third at the moment.
Absolutely, we always have extremely close qualifying times, which can in part be explained by the fact that we have fuel consumption off here. So everyone is running what's basically an empty tank, so they don't have any weight ballast from fuel. But of course, it's also down to the fact that these are the best GT Sport racers in the world, probably.
Pretty much.
There might be some Asians I'm unaware of.
There are some Japanese who are truly Asian in the gaming sense.
We'll edit that out in the final version.
But you know what I mean.
But otherwise, and I mean, of course, the missile himself isn't in the lobby either. We should never leave him out. But these are top level guys, and that's also one of the reasons you see times these close together.
Oh, fuel and tire is on for this event, so it's just
even for qualify. Wow, this is a new one. As we fiddle around with the info.
Well, thanks, Kenny. Good to know that your hosts have really been doing their research to the max here.
It was like that in the other races.
It was like that. No, that's true. Evening to Eddie as well. So Team Italy, provisional pole, it's looking great for them. Another team that we haven't mentioned so far is the Veloce Esports team, running the Lexus SC430, and it's Veloce Storm qualifying the car.
Yep, just warming the tires here.
And he's
gotta say, it's a bit of a funny looking car, the Lexus.
I've always found it funny looking, also because the road car was never really, first of all, it wasn't really that much of a sports car. It was more of a cruiser, open top, heavy but still powerful cruiser for the American market, kind of roadster.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really a pretty car at all. I mean, it only looks better as it looks a little bit, every time I see it from the front, I kind of think it looks like a Chinese copy of a Mercedes SLS, something like that.
I gotta say, when I see it, I feel like I really liked what the car looked like without the racing parts. But then you see it in real life, and you're just
no. Yeah, that's true. That's true indeed.
But yeah, the Veloce Esports team, to get back on track here, it's another interesting proposition. Certainly a very well done livery they have. I'm not too familiar with the races themselves. They've been here before.
I think I'm actually not sure. Veloce, it's Storm and James, and I don't know if any of them actually have been in the IGTL before. I'm not sure. I'm sure we can find out.
Meanwhile, we've had Bellin of the Iris Racing team set the fastest lap. Oh, there's so many things happening in my mind. That livery is absolutely amazing, amazingly Brazilian.
And this is a DDCO 15, or but also a finalist, a world's finalist, one of two Brazilians. The other one was a very certain Igor Fraga, and both did quite well. So very nice to have an extended South American lineup here at this IGTL race, and truly really becoming international. Yeah,
we really are seeing the IGTL branch out more away from Europe, which I really like as well. We do have international in the name of the race, and indeed, it is not really likely that all of the most interesting races in the world come from Europe. So very nice to see.
And DDCO is teaming up with McQueen as well. So two very, very competent racers in the Team South America car, also running the Lexus SC430. Beautifully done. Brazilian color themed done livery. Yeah, very nice job there. I really like it. Here's Tuscany, and that's of course the Project One boys running 11th at the moment, but mind you also that it's first to 11th, but they're still within a second. That's impressive stuff.
And indeed, the Project One boys certainly showed that they're a caliber race team in the last edition.
So,
shouts out to Bambi, what's up?
What's up, Bambi? Nice to see you.
Nap time's over!
Evening to Dennis as well, and Addy.
Eddie.
It's ABS only for these races. And, yeah. That's about it for assists.
Meanwhile, up front in the very, very tight qualifying, M. Thomas has now set the third fastest time. I'm guessing maybe Org improved as well, since the times are so close.
Yeah, I'm quite sure he did. And
then we have the two TX3 boys on each their teams in 4th and 5th. It's so very, very close now. It's also proving how well matched these three cars are. Good job by PD there, because this is a very nicely balanced track as well. So it really brings out the personalities of the different cars. So
but I'd actually say
close.
Not that PD doesn't deserve some applause, but it's actually a custom BOP they're running. So it's actually, I think a lot of it also comes down to the organizers having to put time in to make a custom BOP for these cars and to make sure that the...
Did not know that.
No? The more you know. So M. Thomas, as you mentioned before, Trials, he's running 3rd at the moment. Then it's Adam in 4th and Gian Lodea in 5th. And as we see, it's true what Kenny said. They are running fuel consumption on for the qualifying. So we've actually been filling you with the nonsense.
I seem to be doing quite a lot of that so far.
Yeah, me as well. It's Dirtenisms.
Welcome to the chat, Giorgio. Nice to see you here, man.
Very much.
Best of luck for tomorrow. Let's hope your boy does well here. So seeing just a bit of improvement here for Adam.
It's looking good so far. A 10th up through the first sector. Let's go on board.
Those vents just don't look fast, do they? Not aerodynamic. Adam to take pole. That might be a very well-timed comment if indeed he does manage to do so. He's on a very fast lap here.
We've got, just to mention, we've got 6.5 minutes left of qualifying, and he's really improved here. He's up on the best time so far by 1.5 tenths at the end of the second sector.
VLX Rene makes a handful of comments and is now offered a job as a pundit in Formula 1 at Sky News. Amazing predictions there, man.
Still looks to be an on-point lap from TX3 Adam at the moment.
Interestingly, staying narrow there instead of going wide. It looked to be...
Yeah, the shortest track possible. If he can keep the grip in the car, I guess it is faster. It's all about getting early on the throttle here, and it seems good. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be a provisional pole from TX3 Adam by 1/10 of a second.
1/10 of a second, which is a country mile in this top 10 right now.
Yeah, right now it is.
Nico R also setting a very fast time, managing to get second there. He's 14.
And he's up by 4,000ths of a second through the first sector now, so things are heating up.
Things are gonna get very hectic here coming into the latter stages of this qualifying, with fuel consumption being on, of course. It's gonna be very interesting to see who manages to bring out the potential times that get better for every lap as you burn fuel. It's a very hard task to do as a driver, to manage to always push the car to the potential as it increases or decreases depending on which side you're standing on.
Yeah, that's true. Nico R now, he's improving upon his own personal best, but he's still a little bit behind Adam through sector 2. Can he make that time up through the last sector? Oh, it goes a little bit wide and he loses it.
Oh, the curse of the commentator.
What a catch.
That's the first time we've had a shot-by-shot sequence from DirtenDK, and instantly it brings out accidents.
Oh, here's Bellin with a lap that's 8/10 down on his personal best.
I wonder because of the timing if he was just fuel saving a little bit. Not fuel saving. Tire saving.
Tire saving.
Fuel burning. Tire saving because of the times he wouldn't manage to do another pit stop. I think that's the explanation. Certainly, indeed, right now we're seeing that he is able to pick up the pace.
He certainly is. The NSX seems strong around here so far.
Yeah, it seems very poised, and we see them taking some slightly narrower lines than certainly than the GTR, and indeed possibly also than the Lexus. And that would mean that it's more balanced and has a bit more grip in the corners, and
yeah,
that's going to be very aiding here because this track is a bit of a squiggly boy.
So Bellin now a little bit down in his personal best through sector 2. Let's see if he can pick it up through the final sector and make anything of it come the line. What a save before from Nico there.
Yeah,
sliding out.
We kind of scrubbed that away, and Addy is the only one to bring it up in chat. That was an amazing save, and
that
he kept it going cleanly and back on track, and he didn't even really lose too much time from it. Back on track, let's go for another one.
So Bellin coming up towards the final 2 corners. It's a long right-hander, and then there's that left swap or switch back into, well, and what's it gonna be for Bellin? It's gonna be in
just a little bit off the pace still, not really seeming able to maybe quite get to the potential of the car. And he's gonna have at least two more laps to do.
Now a little bit surprising, I think, to find Tichny in 9th and Chomar in 10th at the moment here in qualifying, but they might have their best laps still to come. But it's within 8/10 of a second now, and that's down to 12.
Interesting to see which cars the different drivers are in, because I feel like we don't see too many GTRs up front in the times at the moment.
Well, Nico R's in the GTR, and he's put in a strong time. He's second so far, but the NSXs are strong up there and certainly stronger. But those are also those that are running the least power. So you would expect them to be stronger on handling here. A little bit of a mistake from Tuscan E. Let's have a look with the Schosse, the CSGO team. Something you know a little thing or two about, Traus?
CSGO?
Perhaps not CSGO,
yeah,
but...
no, of course. Counter-Strike is an amazing game. I'm not sure what the relation is to CSGO, though.
They might both be playing CSGO as well as driving.
I just noticed a big old Have the Race Gone sticker both on the front, on the sides and on the back.
Yes, of course, lovely to see.
Out to the guys remembering to do that. That's really nice to see. Meanwhile, in the chat, we have confirmation from Addy that this track is indeed on Need for Speed Shift. So that's another notch on the belt of us filling you with crap.
Yeah, that's true. And Ethan was right as usual.
Ethan was right as usual.
When Ethan is serious, he's usually right. And I'd say you get a good feel for when he's one or the other. If he's serious or not.
So by now everyone's on the last lap or just getting onto it pretty much.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Nico R's gonna have one more shot.
There's not gonna be any more fuel burning or tire saving from now on.
Oh, it's gonna be the last attempt. Oh, Nico R with a provisional pole, 74 thousandths of a second.
Good job, man.
That's brilliant.
Quite a big gap to see this late in qualifying as well. So that must have been a blistering pace. Nico R indeed proving my predictions of maybe some other cars being a slight bit stronger as he continues to improve, and by a not inconsiderable margin either.
If he can keep this gap up, you'll be looking at a very strong time. He's one of the only drivers, in fact he is the only driver to be within the 38s here in qualifying. Very high 38s indeed. Such a close session this is. Oh, he gets a huge drift on once more, and he does lose it this time around.
Keeps it off the wall once more.
And hardly even keeps it. I mean, he almost even keeps it on the tarmac.
Pretty much the same situation, just not quite as clean in the save. But I mean, how good do you have to be at high-speed saves for the commentators to start saying, "Well, it wasn't as clean as the first one."
Impressive stuff. And crowning it off with a professional pole time. Let's see if anybody is going to be able to change it. It's not going to be the CX3 boys, Bellens, and...
It's probably not going to be Bellin. It's probably not going to be Chandler. It might be TRL Org, though it's probably not going to be Org.
He's finished it. M. Thomas finished it. Let's see. Veloce Storm. They improved. They're 7th at the moment. Then it's Thunder in the SimRacing League. They're 8th. And the South American team in 9th. It's Tichney.
The last cars are coming across the line now. No improvement, seemingly. Nico are just on an in-lap.
And that was it, I think.
And that's it for the... So the placings you're seeing now are the unofficial qualifying results. Nico R takes pole position. A very, very strong lap from him, and he was on an even better one. Just pushed it a bit too hard at the end. Adam managed to really pick up the pace as the fuel burned off in his car. He takes 2nd position. Bellin of the Iris Racing team takes the 3rd position. Very, very strong pace from him. I probably wouldn't have guessed him to be 3rd if I had to make predictions. There's a lot of fast qualifiers here, but this, very
impressive stuff from the Belgian, indeed, the king of Belgium.
The TX3 team proving their class.
Well, that
was my point. Proving the class of the TX3 team.
Oh yeah,
because they have drivers in both the virtual racers or drivers, was it, by TX3 and also Team Italy.
Team Italy, indeed, that's true.
And they both finished in the top 5.
Yeah,
thus proving the quality of TX3.
But it's very true. The depth in their team is it's impressive to see that they can pull up. And I haven't seen Adam before at these races. He comes up, pulls off a 2nd place time here in the qualifying session. Impressive stuff. And you mentioned the Honda NSXs. Well, it is true that we have Honda NSXs in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position, and 5th in the Team Redline car, on 5th on the grid. It's Lazarus Racing in the GTR with M. Thomas, and 6th place. Not too bad.
Not too bad at all, and certainly in a position to make everything back up in the race tomorrow.
So it's Veloce in 7th. It's the SimRacing League, of course, in 8th.
SimRacing League. Thunder there managing to put the car in 8th.
Then it's South America 9th. It's Flawless 10th, I think. Maybe a little bit of a disappointment for Tichney.
That livery.
Fantastic livery.
He might not have taken pole position, but he's taken pole position of my heart.
Also another driver who...
quite a big surprise, Schumann.
Schumann 11th.
Not managing to even get in the top 10 of his own Champions League event here. Not trying to knock the man, of course. It's a very, very stacked field, but I have high expectations for Schumann in everything he joins. And not quite able to pick it up here, although you have to remember that he's still just slightly more than half a second behind.
Yeah, it's extremely close indeed. Then for the Project 1 boys, it's Tuscan E in 12th. And then rounding off qualifying, it's CSGO team with Schosse and ATT 27. And it's going to be ATT 27, of course, starting ATT. Also our previous winner from the solo race, the promo race,
from the back when they were called promo races. Now they're called solo races. It's kind of the same thing at the same time as not being the same thing.
It is.
But a team I was very excited about coming into this weekend, and indeed I still am. These guys were just a few heads above everyone else in their respective promotional races. And I certainly wouldn't put it beyond them to get a very nice result here, in spite of qualifying in last position. And again, keep in mind that's still less than a second off the leaders.
Yeah.
So a very, very tight grid here as we have the beautiful flawless charges
just
flawlessly sliding through there.
So flat out Fred on pole position. That's a little bit of a surprise, perhaps. No real surprises exist because the level is so high that. But then again, that also makes it possible for basically anything to happen, more or less, of course. Anyways, we are getting close to the end of this qualifying session, and we'll be live once again in half an hour's time for the solo race. Now we're just waiting for the final confirmation of the grid, and then
we need that symbol, formerly known as.
Yeah,
and we could just refer to it as the race, formerly known as the promotional race.
Oh yeah,
it would look really nice graphically,
just like the artist formerly known.
But it's the solo race now.
It's the solo race now.
It's the solo race.
It's the solo race.
It's gonna be really interesting. It's the place where the stars are made.
We've actually got a really strong grid. I can go through the name. We got the Unaleska, GX3 Unaleska, of course. Then we got Hübi, our Iris friend.
Damn.
Nice to see him. We got 2 drivers from the BFR team. We got Nice and Jay. We've got the Wizard from the Iris team as well. We've got Nico Archie.
We've got Dr. Rob.
We've got the Doctor himself. And we've got 2 doctors. We've got Dr. Hash as well. We've got Elmersol and Seberg, who's in as a team in the Catalonia stint race. We've got the VLX team represented
someone
with
I think might be a crowd favorite in the chat at the moment, Dennis.
Yeah.
We have quite a few VLX guys in the lobby at the moment, in the chat. Nice to see you guys.
We have T2, and then very interestingly, I think from the Starscream Enterprise boys, it's Fred Dude.
It's Fred Dude.
It's Fred Dude, who's a very known face on. And Addy, it's 40 laps in Group 3 cars. It's gonna be Group 3 cars, or it's a small selection of Group 3 cars with custom BOP. We've got the Subaru WRX, we've got the Ferrari 458, we've got the Lexus, we've got the Corvette, and we've got the Porsche 911 RSR, and we've got the BMW Z4. That's about it. And as with this, it's a custom BOP, so it's going to be a little bit different.
It's going to be a custom BOP, so it's going to be very interesting to see, because these are not similar cars necessarily as far as GT3 cars go. But I expect with a nice BOP, it might actually make for a really good race.
And of course, one thing we've actually blown it upon as well. Super Pole! So the top 5 drivers... the top 5 drivers from this qualifying session are gonna battle it out once more tomorrow in the Super Pole session before the race. So we're gonna have those 5 positions up for grabs between the drivers who are actually gonna be starting it. That's gonna be an interesting one to watch indeed. Nice one on
always a good place to find a bit of drama in the early stages of the broadcast. It's always crazy exciting to watch these guys do this. It's such a difficult balance of risking it all versus being too conservative. Where do you want to place yourself there? Are you able to place yourself at that point of the risk-benefit analysis?
Indeed.
Words, beep boop, saying things.
So anyways, of course, if you liked our little qualifying broadcast here, do give it a like. And if you haven't already, then do remember also to subscribe to Have the Race Gone.
For once it actually serves a purpose, make sure to subscribe so you're ready when we start broadcasting tomorrow.
And in half an hour as well.
And in half an hour indeed, but you could like set a stopwatch or just
That's true.
watch the time.
But tomorrow...
It's half an hour. Tomorrow is more of an indefinite term.
That's true. Tomorrow
having some great discussions here. Completely one-sided, just me having a monologue and he's just going, yeah, whatever.
Well, we're agreeing on things.
Dude,
we don't
whatever.
But anyways, do join us in half an hour's time as we will be live for the solo race. We're very much looking forward to that. And my name is DirtenDK.
Mine is Trels.
Yes, it is. And it's been a pleasure having you along.
Actually, it's Trals, but that's too hard to say. Anyway, seems to have lost his smoothness. I'm kind of worried. I hope it's not the curse of the commentator. Anyway, see you in half an hour. Yeah. Or indeed, if you're watching this at a later point, thanks for watching.
Yeah. And until then, have fun and
bye.